unique feature of the ColorLogic system is the ability to use variable data when you're digitally printing onto a foil substrate. And that will be using a white ink and CMYK. Now, variable data is not possible in metallic foil colors without the use of ColorLogic. And this is because white ink masks have to be created manually if you do not have the ColorLogic system installed. And to explain this, we're going to go back a few stages and show you what we're going to create in this design. So I'm going to turn off the CMYK and the white ink, and we're going to be left with just the foil substrate. Now, the program I'm using to demonstrate this is the Esco Studio Visualizer, as it will allow me to show you the build-up of foils with white and CMYK. Now, what happens is if you don't print with a white ink and you just put a four-color design onto the foil, everything becomes metallic. Every single thing. There's no contrast and it will just look flat. So what you want to do is put a white ink behind the back of the images, behind the back of anything that you do not want to be metallic. So I'm going to switch on the white ink and you will see how this happens. Okay, so the white ink is being created as a knockout mask to knock out the substrate. So for this to happen, behind this image here, this little floral image, we have white ink. Behind the text, save the date, we have white ink. And then we have steps of white ink. We have a white frame with the foil substrate coming through, then another white frame, and then white behind the image. We've got white out text along this area here. We then have silver foil coming through against the white background. We've got black text overprinting, and the important one for us, we have this text here, for example, Vicky and Scott are getting married. That can be variable data in a different foil color. It could be a green, could be a blue, could be gold, silver. It makes no difference in our system. But without the ColorLogic system installed, you would have to manually create a knockout mask around every single little piece of text, because you've got to create the white mask behind to knock out the substrate, but also it's a mask around the four color. So let's just zoom back out a little bit. So if it's variable and you have to manually make a white ink mask, variable data cannot work because the variable data needs to be done on the fly, meaning it strips into a set of commands and is automatically applied. So if you have to make your white ink mask manually, then you'll never be able to do variable data colored foils on a digital press. Now, with that aside, we're going to show you how we can create this using the ColorLogic system. So we're going to go into our design file, and let me just go onto my desktop and find that. Here we go. And we're going to create a design, and let's just turn off a few of these layers. Okay, so I've created a piece of artwork here in InDesign, and I've got some multiple layers. And the idea behind this is to create a template with variable data fields that can then pull in information from a database. So I'm just going to zoom into an area. Let's go up into this top area here. Okay, so we're just going to work on one of these cars to show you how this works. Now, I've created this file in the background using Illustrator, and the Illustrator design has the ColorLogic effect plate with the white embedded, and it's fully automatic when you design this. And to see how we do that in Illustrator, you should watch one of our other tutorials on designing with inside Illustrator. The purpose of this tutorial is to show you the variable data. So I'm going to take, first of all, some text fields. And in here, I've given it a simple command. And this will vary depending upon the type of variable data software that you're using. But to serve the purpose here, I'm going to show you just some command tags. So basically, it's an instructional file that says to pull in variable data, text number 1 from database number 1. And then the next image will be to pull in variable data from text box number 2 from database number 1. So first database could be a string of text that says who is getting married. So it could be Vicky and Dave, Tom and Linda, etc. And every time that text file is stripped in, it will automatically update. The second one here, this is what we're going to use for a geographical location. where the couple is going to get married. And in this one, we're putting a variable data text, text box 1 from database 2. And then this one will be text box 1, database 2 or 3. So you'd have to change them, like on this one here would be, just pull that text box up, start with text box 2, database 2. So you go through and it will then set all the files. Now, doing black overprint is no problem, but if we want that to be foiled with color on the top, you have to make the white ink masks. Now, the good thing about the ColorLogix system is that when you design with it, it automatically does this for you because it's creating that white plate when we output it at the rip stage. It's not doing it in the design. So I'm going to turn off those text fields and I'm going to turn on the simulation fields just to show you what it would look like once that text is stripped in. And in here we have the Lucy and Dwayne are getting married. And just to show you how that would work, I'll pull up a separation preview later on. Next, we're going to work with photographic images. So in these boxes here, we're going to have a variable image that's going to be pulled in. And to do that one, we're going to do the photo variable data. And again, it's a typical variable data being input photo number 1, number 2, number 3, etc. So when we go through the variable data and it pulls it in from the database, it's going to strip in a different picture. So every picture can be different, or you can have some master templates like I've created here. And then you can have variable data text. In this case, I've put it in a gold foil. And then we've got variable data, geographical location, and then we've got standard static text in silver foil.